All right. Well, hey, everybody. I'm here with Tasha Lane, and we have been friends for an awful long time. It's the first time we've spoken in a few years. And so I'm excited to find out a little bit more about what's going on with Tasha and how we can help today. So without further ado, Tasha, how are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. Okay. So you messaged me, you let me know that you've just gone through a career transition. So why don't we start with that? So for people watching, if you're in a career transition, this is going to be the interview for you. And I'd love for you to hear some of the coaching tips I've got, but also hear somebody else's story. And maybe if you can help Tasha, we would love for you to do that too. So Tasha, go for it. Tell me a little bit about what's gone on with your last role. What we don't do, we won't name the companies and talk about the companies too much. Just tell us about what role you're in and where you're at now and what's next for you. Tell us that.
Sure. No, I've been a senior CSM and dealing in the social media digital marketing world, actually for a platform that companies were able to go in and do all of their posting, answer reviews, basically, anything that had to do with social media and the review process. And then quite a bit, of other products that they had too. So basically, I was the CSM, kind of like the cruise director. When they need somebody, they need help, they come to me, I'm their person. And so I've been doing that for almost the past 2 years, and just decided that I needed a change culturally. And so here I am out in the working world looking for a new position.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you for making a big decision, because that's a big decision to step away from something where you've got some experience. So CSM, for everybody watching, customer service manager. So kind of
customer success manager.
Customer success or client success manager. Yeah, I love that. And that's how we met. We met a while ago working together in the same company, and you were excelling at that. I know we worked on some of the same clients together at some point. Yeah. So awesome. All right. So but before we talk about career, why don't we talk about you? Who are you becoming? What was it that made you make the decision to leave from that role and to go away? What is it you're looking for? Who are you becoming? Maybe personally, professionally. I'd love to hear that about you.
Sure. So what I left for was basically to take care of myself. So mentally and physically, which was something that I probably have never done before. And I made the choice that in order for myself and my family to move forward in a healthy place, I needed to do this. So first time in my career that I've ever left a job without having another one. And so I did that, made that move. And I really learned, especially through this process, that I was leading without knowing it. So I had people coming to me after this all happened, just crying on the phone and couldn't believe I was leaving them and what were they going to do? And could they come to me, afterwards? And I just really feel like with my years of experience that I'm in a really good mentoring position. I'm in a good spot to be a leader. I really feel like that's probably something I'm looking for is, whether it be team lead, whether it be, a director's position, it doesn't matter. Even if I was in a senior CSM role again, just to be able to help the teammates who are, newer to the work world and just need help coaching to further themselves and, start growing.
Awesome. So what I hear, you're answering some of my follow-on questions, so we'll dig deeper on each one. But what I heard, let me replay it, and if I can clarify, you can say, yep, that's it. And so if there's more, add to what I say. But what I heard is you really did this for your personal health. Number one reason, just to make sure that you were taking care of you. And I love this because a lot of my coaching goes down to helping people be the best of themselves. Yes. So you can be the best version of who you are. And we start with some of those habits and practices around energy that matter so much. If we want to be the best of ourselves and deliver awesome things, we got to get our energy right. So I love that. Then you also said you want to do more mentoring type work and caring for people, giving them advisory strategies. You feel like you've got to the point in your career now where you can pay it forward. You've got a ton of experience. You know all the pitfalls, all the traps. So that's awesome. You can be mentoring. And then I think right at the end there, you're starting to talk about maybe coaching as a path for you. It's like maybe in a role where you can actually start to coach people a little bit of what's going on right now between us. So that's awesome. Did I miss anything about who you are becoming?
Nope.
All right. And then unwittingly, you started to answer my next questions is why? And you said something really powerful. Two things really powerful. First one was you talked about family and why this means it's not just something to you, but it means something to the family as well. And that you're going to be able to be a better person in the family, and you're going to be able to show up for them in a better place potentially. So you can give me a little bit more detail on that in a second, because people need to hear this, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just think we're going to get the check in the chair and work in this role and do this thing, do this kind of position for all of our lives. And we forget we've got all of our lives. We've got some other things going. But the other thing you said that really stood out to me is you wanted to take care of your mental and physical health. So yes, you want to be healthier, but you even labeled it family, mental health, physical, maybe strength, longevity, thinking about, what is it going to take to, why do I want to live that life when I can live a different life? Well, yeah, let's do this. Tell me about the family and why is it so important for you to make this decision for you and your family?
So in this role, I had been working 12 to 15 plus hours a day.
Oh.
I was working on my days off. I had a couple family emergencies where I'm literally in the emergency room with my dad. I have a conference call in one ear. I have Slack going on the side and emails, and I'm talking to my dad's doctor about his medications and what's going on with him. And my dad was not doing well. Yeah. And so at that point, I finally was like, you know what, this is just wrong. And, so that was one instance. And just the working 12 to 15 plus hours a day, was taking away from my family in the evening, constantly on my phone, which is something that's a hard habit to break, trying to get away from doing that and, being in the moment more so rather than, having 5,000 things on my mind, that had to do with work. And so, there's just a bunch of different factors that really started to eat at me. And, my family was saying, hey, get off your phone. Hey, be in the moment. Hey, do this. And you kind of get to the point where you start hearing it enough that you're like, I need to make a change.
Let's take a breath.
Yeah.
Isn't that a lot? So I love that you shared that with us. And we make these mistakes and we don't realize necessarily that we're making these mistakes. And then it takes something, medically challenging to come across. We care about our parents so much. And with your dad, it's obviously clearly something that's going on when you're in the emergency room and you're on the phone with work, or you're replying and you're feeling like you still need to be connected with work. You surrounded yourself with the work, feeling like that was the right thing to do when your family, your family did this. So here's my first coaching tip for anyone watching and for also for you, Tasha.
Okay.
Your family will never be impressed by the amount of money you earn.
Sure.
They'll be impressed by the amount of presence you give them.
True.
And I love you. I love you for doing this. I love that you've taken the opportunity to say, me healthy, me mentally, physically healthy, so I can be there for my family because my family matter. And that's such a powerful statement. So congratulations to you. And I understand exactly what you're going through or what you've been through there, because I had the text messages from my boss at 5:30 a.m. and on the same day at 11 p.m.
Yeah, same.
And I felt the need to respond. And so I did. And it's crazy that I made some of these decisions and not realizing I didn't set up a boundary clearly, which meant it kept getting impinged upon. And so we make these mistakes and we do these things. Now, I'm not saying that working hard is not a bad thing. Working hard is a good thing. But I'd love us to work more like lions, short, fast bursts of high productivity, than cows, chewing cud all day long and just feeling like there's no way out, that all we're doing is chewing the cud. We're just chewing the cud. So love it. I love who you're becoming. I love this focus on health, mentoring, coaching. I love that you said, why you're doing this is really about your mental and physical well-being. And it's also about your family. And we've got to have a reason. And I've been telling people in my content as well as coaching, the two most powerful days in your life will be the day you were born and the day you realize why. And I think somewhere recently you had this moment.
I did.
You're feeling this calling. I'm not doing what I should be doing. If I want to be the best of myself, let's do that. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I don't want to leave my job. You don't have to leave your job to answer the calling. You just may be in a position where you're frustrated because you're already wildly successful. By the way, I know Tosh is wildly successful because I've known her a long time. So she's wildly successful anyway. And most of my clients are that. They're wildly successful, director and above, up to the C-suite. I work with several C-suite executives now, and we just want more. We want more meaning, more fulfillment, more purpose, and this is wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears. Now we know more about you and the audience knows more about you. Let's find out a little bit more about what do you want? So
okay.
what are you thinking about? What do you want to do next?
I kind of don't know. I'm open to, I've been in the property management sector for over 30 years. And so, you know, that's really been kind of my label, I guess you could say, that, you know, that, and you kind of feel like you get stuck within that place, you know, because that's what you know, those are the people that you know. And as you know, that's a very small world in that property sector. So, you know, I would love, if I got a position, you know, that basically I could thrive in, feel comfortable, but still have I just want to be happy. I just want to be able to go to work, be happy, not feel like, you know, you're afraid of your job daily, not feel like you're going to be afraid of your health not being healthy. And, you know, I just want to be happy, and I'm ready to, you know, find a position that's basically going to do that and help me do that.
Really good. So we could put together a little matrix, and I do two by two matrices with people to demonstrate to them how simple their strategy can be for their careers. And we do that, you know, inside our kind of enrollment when we're working with clients. So you kind of have this little matrix that says you're here, you know, you kind of got to the position where you could be a team leader in the prop tech property management space, but there are multiple opportunities around that. And we can have this personal North Star, something to aim at. And if we know what that personal North Star is, then we can set about compounding our lives, not just our money, compounding our lives with consistency and discipline to do the thing where we can make the biggest amount of impact on people. I know you. There are lots of companies out there. You know, I just did some quick research this week. There are 15 million jobs open right now.
Wow. That's crazy.
And there's only 11 million looking. But there's still this mismatch. You know, why can't we fill these jobs? Well, old, antiquated hiring processes. That's the biggest problem, because now 85% of resumes are looked at by a computer, not a human. Every job is getting hundreds and hundreds of applications on it. There are antiquated processes online in the digital platforms that just don't make sense. When actually what we really need to be doing is thinking about one or two key things. So I'm going to give you the first one, and this is for everybody watching. And if you don't know me by now, you know this is the number one thing: relationships. We must build the relationships to find the people who are willing to invest in us, to willing to take a chance on us, because they see our attitude, they see our energy, and they know we're the right person. Yep. So that's exactly what we'll do this. So tell me, I'm going to ask you, how do you plan to go about this? How do you plan to go and find this role that's going to give you the happiness, going to help you thrive, maybe in property management, maybe outside of the property management sector? What's your process? Tell me a little bit about that. I've seen some of it, by the way. Yeah, you can't lie at this point, because I've seen some of the things you did. So I'm going to take a look at that.
Yeah, no, and it was basically what you just said, relationships. I mean, that has been the key to probably every single position that I've ever gotten, is relationships that I've had, you know, in the past, that I are, you know, continuing to have. And that's my personality anyway, is about relationships.
Great. So look, we're going to wrap up this part of this, and then you and I are going to talk privately, one-to-one. Okay. But I want everybody else to kind of see. I want to give you a 3-step plan, and you've already nailed number one. So and actually you nailed number two, but I don't know whether you knew why you've nailed number two. Number one is build relationships. Absolutely. So if you find yourself in the position where Tosha is, where you've left the role, or you involuntarily, you know, it wasn't your decision, then you do need to start with your relationships, get back into your network, having conversations with them. And if necessary, work for free. Keep yourself sharp. Start thinking about, where could you do something for somebody who you really love, who you could work with them, and you know it would be great fun, even if they didn't pay you, so you can stay sharp and you can do some of that. So that's the first thing I'd advise you to do. And I have a whole methodology around how you make that work. That's one of the things I do. Second one, you mentioned that you put a post up about what is price. Well, this is the second piece of advice that I'm going to give to you, and I'm telling everybody else as well. Stay curious. Yes, you must start asking better questions if you want your career and your professional life to be better.
Right.
Like the same way you're asking questions about your mental health and your physical health and how you can be there for your dad and be the best daughter that you can possibly be, and then be the best role model in your family. All of that is about being curious. And so you've got to be able to do that in your career as well. So asking more questions. And I'll do a name drop here. Peg Smith, who was one of my mentors for one of the large companies that I work for, always said, James, the quality of your career is the quality of the questions that you ask. And when we stop becoming curious, we get all internal and focus on us and we get unhappy. It's because we're just not helping other people. So when we feel less, let's be more helpful. How do we become more helpful? Ask questions, see what help people need. So you can do that.
Yep.
And the last thing for you, which is what we're going to talk about when we turn this off, it's okay to be awesome at delivery. And I think everybody knows who's worked with you, you're good at your delivery. So that bit you've got mapped out. You're an expert, you've got knowledge, you've got wisdom, you've got plenty of value to deliver in the marketplace. But to be really good and get yourself to the next level where you want to do in your career, you're going to have to get really good at marketing yourself and selling yourself too. Now, both skills you've already got, but when it's you, it's sometimes not the same as marketing or selling a product or a service, like you were talking about your last company and social media platforms and reputation and some of the things that they do. Yeah, that's important. We do sales and marketing of those products and services, but when it comes to us, we sometimes have a hard time of getting it right.
Right.
So that's my 3-step plan for you. Hey, everybody, this has been a little interview. I wanted you to get the most out of this as possible. We'll stick this up on the blog. We'll chop some of the content up and we'll put it out into the social media channels so people can benefit from listening to awesome people and also benefiting from a quick process here to help you move to the next level.